Garmin has just released a brand new launch monitor, and I'm disappointed. Disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed in myself because I've been doing this show for 5 years, and I've looked at all of the most amazing golf technology. I've spotted the trends. I saw where things were going. I'm a flat out golf geek, and I kind of missed this one. If I could have dreamed up my own launch monitor, packed it with all the latest bells and whistles I could think of, I could not have imagined anything this good. That's how innovative and truly groundbreaking the new Garmin R50 is. Quite frankly, I am in awe. Today we'll take a deep dive into the innovations. It's truly innovative and first of its kind, the accuracy, price points, including subscription costs, as well as my likes and my gripes. By the end of this video, I'm gonna try my best to answer the question, is this the best launch monitor that has ever been produced? All right, let's start off here with pricing. I must admit, when I first saw the MSRP on this thing, $4,999, I was a little bit disappointed. I was hoping for something around the $2,000 mark, to be quite honest with you. I thought that would be the sweet spot. But once I had the unit in hand, I quickly overcame that disappointment. And I realized I had something truly innovative. I thought about how I can describe or sum up the R50 in a few words, and here's what I've come up with. Imagine you have a Tesla, and that Tesla meets a GC quad. And that's what the R50 is. And there was definitely a massive wow moment for me when I realized why Garmin had priced it the way they did. Stay tuned for that one. Let's cover what's in the box. When I opened up my package from PlayBetter.com, the first thing that struck me was how massive the case was. This unit is big. In fact, it's about 3 times the size of my GC quad. The case itself is sturdy with exceptional build quality and nice padding. And since it definitely won't fit inside a golf bag like its little brother, the R10, it has these backpack handles and straps attached so you can take it around town. Inside, you've got the unit itself, the AC cable, and some stickers to place on your club, and that's it. Now, I got a beta test of this without a manual, and I imagine a manual will be included when you buy it for yourself. But this thing is so intuitive and it just simply works. You really wouldn't need one. Now, inspecting the unit, you have a single power button on the front, what looks like a big iPad screen up top, and on the back you've got this little flap that opens to an AC adapter port, an HDMI port, and a USB-C port. That HDMI port is something I've never seen on a unit like this one. And the reason it's there truly shocked me. More on that in just a bit. Maybe the most amazing thing about the Garmin is you don't need any third-party connectivity. You don't need an iPad, a PC, or even a phone in order to set this thing up. There's no software to download. You simply connect to the Wi-Fi, register an account, and you are ready to go. After a simple press of the power button, you come to a screen displaying 3 options. This screen is iPad quality. Such a massive step up from what we see on things like the Unicore iMini, the Bushnell Launch Pro, or even the GC Quad. It's also super responsive to your touches and gestures. Basically, it works how you think it would work. There's literally no learning curve. That's incredible. I quickly realized that Garmin literally just created a new category of golf technology here. As for the options themselves, the first is Garmin's practice area. You've got a number of different range options to choose from here. Next, you've got a play section. This is where you can start playing Garmin's Home Tee Hero or tap into their weekly online contests. The third section is where you'll find third-party software connectivity. Out of the box, the R50 is ready to connect to the E6, E6 Apex, GS Pro, and more. I was super happy to see this because I didn't want to get stuck with Garmin's cartoony Home Tee Hero until I realized Home Tee Hero on the R50 is a completely different experience than what's on the R10, but more on that later. Lastly, in terms of setup, what's probably the most exciting thing about the R50 and what completely justifies its price point for me is the fact that by simply plugging in an HDMI cord, I could hook it up to my projector. And if you haven't caught on by now, here's the twist. You do not need a PC or a gaming computer to run the R50. The R50 itself is the computer. More specifically, it's a computer, a monitor, a launch monitor, and simulator all in one. And that does 3 things. It removes the need to buy a $1,500 or $2,000 gaming PC. It also removes any learning curve that's associated with the hardware and software of that computer. and it removes the need for a massive footprint in your sim room or garage setup like the desk, chair, and monitor I have here. If I were to add it all up, I paid like $300 for the desk, $100 for the chair, $1,700 for the PC. I've got a $500 TV I use as my monitor, about $25 worth of cable. For me, that's $2,625 in things I simply would not have had to buy. Crazy. So yeah, the price point I think is certainly justified. Now, speaking of best price, the best price you are going to find on the R50 is going to be available at our partners PlayBetter.com, where I get all my golf technology. They're a family-owned business, and they truly care about the customer, and they're such amazing friends to the Let's Play Through community. In addition to their free shipping, you also have a hassle-free money-back guarantee. They are the place to buy golf technology on the internet. They're the ones I trust implicitly here on Let's Play Through. I'm gonna leave a link down in the description so you can snag an R50 if you're interested, but first, let's dive into the rest of the details here. So the first thing I dove into was the driving range. As I mentioned, Garmin has a number of different ranges with different looks. You have flat ranges, island ranges, so there are multiple ways to practice and improve. A truly innovative feature, and one where you really tap into the entire Garmin ecosystem and shows off the amazing tech that they've developed and they're capable of. When you set up a session, you can choose any weather, altitude, or humidity you want. Going further, you can instantly orient the system to your local conditions, which for one thing is amazing in just how quick it is, but also that it lets you train in a more real-world, realistic environment. Now, being a touchscreen, it's super easy to choose a target inside the range and make things as easy or difficult as you like. Again, giving you pretty much limitless possibilities on how you want to practice. You can also choose the views and the metrics that you want to see. With a few taps, you can stare at the range view, a data view, check out your impact data, or even see a slow motion recording of each shot. We've only ever seen this in the Unicore systems, but now Garmin gives us this impact camera and it's right there on the screen in front of you. Again, you don't need a monitor, it's right there. Which means there's no more lying to yourself or wondering where the strike location was. It's right there to show you if you hit it fat, thin, or off the toe. It's a game changer if you haven't experienced it before. But it's not just enough to give you these 4 options. The R50 gives you even more customizability by offering split screen views so you can focus in on multiple elements at a time. And by hooking up your projector, you can decide what you want to see on the R50 itself and what you want displayed on the screen in front of you. This is the most customizable software I have ever seen. The engineers even built in functionality so you can swap what data points you want to see, and if you don't know what the data point is actually measuring, you can long press and get a visual depiction and description. So naturally, your next question is, how accurate is this thing? Well, when I first got the unit, I placed it side by side with my GC Quad, and I hit approximately 25 shots. I saw spin and distance were essentially spot on, with less than a yard variation and within about 100 RPM difference. Now, I plan on doing a full accuracy test with this unit, but as I mentioned, I had a beta test unit, and that means early on with software and hardware, there's lots and lots of firmware updates. Well, one of the firmware updates unfortunately prevented me from setting up a side-by-side analysis. It did it to my GC Quad, I tried it with my Bushnell, I even tried it with my Apogee above me. There was interference and I was not able to read shots with those other devices. Interestingly, the Garmin was always able to read the shots, but the other devices just couldn't when they were side by side. I assume it was some kind of infrared interference, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but unfortunately I couldn't do it. But what I can say is that I hit hundreds, if not thousands of shots on this show every week, and I know my stats inside and out. And what I can say is that I trust the R50 data implicitly for myself. And as soon as I find another way to test it, I will do that, and we'll have another video here on Let's Play Through with spreadsheets and all that good stuff. So the R50 offers a number of options for simulator golf, but out of the box, Garmin's Home Tee Hero is a super capable system. As I mentioned, this is completely revamped. All 43,000 courses have updated graphics. Putting is now included. That wasn't available on the R10, but this being an optical device, putting is included. That's huge. I'm gonna be doing a standalone video on the Home Tee Hero, So be sure to subscribe if you want to see that. But what I can say is the gameplay is quite frankly excellent. The experience is clean and uncluttered thanks to the onboard screen that sits beside you, and of course you've got that option for the projector. Once again, you can opt to display data points or change up the display in just about any configuration you want. But I'll say this, it's just as fun to use it on screen. You can hit a shot, look down, and the animations are happening right there, which means this is truly probably the first really amazing outdoor simulator option. I had a blast playing golf on the driving range, and it felt just as fun as my sim room. And of course the setup was a breeze. I just literally placed the unit down, I fired it up, and I started banging balls. Now in terms of exposing this unit to the elements, I wouldn't put this thing in a rainstorm, but it has some reasonably good water resistance. In terms of subscriptions needed to play Home T Hero, the price is still the same as when it was launched. You have the option of a yearly plan for $99 a year, or you can go month to month for $9.99. I think that's incredible value, and for a lot of people, that's all they will ever need. But as I mentioned, you've also got access to those other third-party options if you want them. You've got the E6, E6 Apex, GS Pro, and to my knowledge, there's no additional price for a third-party connector. That is huge. So this thing is absolutely incredible, but there is always room for improvement when it comes to golf technology. So here are a few things that I would love to see improved about the Garmin R50. First, within Home T Hero itself, I would love to know the course length. It tells you the slope and the rating, but unfortunately it doesn't give you the length of the course. That would be a really nice touch. I would also love to be able to track the clubs I hit on Home T Hero. It's a few more button presses, but it would be nice to go back and look at the round and see what clubs I hit. I would also like to be able to skip holes or simply choose specific holes that I want to play. I assume all of those types of updates will be coming, but those are a few things I didn't see here, at least with the beta unit I was testing. Now, in terms of data displays on the driving range, I'd love to see averages displayed. You can get shot-by-shot data, but I couldn't find a way to see the club averages, and I think that's huge for a lot of people. Now, I was not able to test sending my data to Garmin's own golf app. Again, just the restriction of me having this beta unit to test, but I assume if you do, you can get more insights on your session data there. But like I said, I'd love to see it on screen. If I was gonna add anything to this software, which is incredibly robust, it would probably be a bag mapping feature where you can literally hit shots and find out exactly how far you hit each club. And to take that a step further, we know Garmin has the virtual caddy built into its smart watches like the S62 or S70. It would be so cool to literally send that data to the virtual caddy so you know when you're out on the course how far you hit a 7-iron or a pitching wedge or whatever the case may be. That would be so cool. Please, Garmin, build that. But that is pretty much it. They've done an incredible job reimagining what a launch monitor can do, and they've created an experience that's both useful to game improvement but also fun. So as I promised up front, we would answer the question, is this the best launch monitor that is currently on the market at any price point? And for me, I've got to say it absolutely is. Garmin has delivered here with the R50. It is an amazing piece of hardware and software, and truly innovative. Now, I've got so many more videos coming here on the Garmin R50. I'll be doing an FAQ video, so if you've got some questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them to the best of my knowledge. This thing is absolutely amazing. I can't wait to keep making more videos here on the channel. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you back here next time on another edition of Let's Play Through.